Movie section. This week we lost a legendary actor in the movie space, plus Kevin Costner's magnum opus hit a little bit of a snag, and we have some trailers to talk about as well. Hello nerds! You have found the place for all of the nerdy movie updates worth talking about. More than just comic book movies, though that is a good chunk of what we cover here in the news. We get nerdy about all kinds of movies, as well as the art of making movies in general. If you like this kind of news reporting, then go check out the full show over on the main channel called The Week in Nerddom, where we talk about TV and comic books and gaming and rumors and etc., everything in between. You can find the link to that down in the description or at the end of this video. Now, let's hear about all that movie goodness, shall we? Follow-ups for movies this week. So we have one, and it's Horizon, the Kevin Costner Western series. The first movie came out and it didn't do so well. So the presumed budget for the movie was around $100 million. So far in theaters, the movie has grossed $11 million. So not exactly the return on investment that people were expecting when they put money into this. Most of the money though is Kevin Costner's, so kind of is what it is. But it has been made known that they are not going to be doing a theatrical release for the second movie in this franchise. This is going to be a 4-movie arc. Costner has made no bones about the fact that he will find a way to make all 4 of these movies. So the first movie's made and out. The second movie presumably is made and waiting to be released, probably in the editing stage at this point. So they're on the early stages of production for the third movie and very, very early stages of production for the 4th movie. But yeah, Costner has said there will be all 4 movies, just a matter of how they're getting released. The second movie, actually no, I think they're, I'm trying to remember again. Amazing note taker, aren't I? The second movie, I think there's a what is the movie festival that's going on right now? Whatever. There's a festival going on where people take movies for awards things, and I think they're doing a premiere at the festival. They're just not going to be releasing it into theaters. That way they can still have the movie in a theater to a certain degree, just not going to be in theaters nationwide. It'll go to streaming soon, if that's what is exactly going on. But my ADD is definitely not allowing me to pull that information back up, so my apologies. That is what we have for follow-ups and corrections this week in movies. Let's talk about these trailers, shall we? So, first one, we have Wolfman. The Leigh Whannell is the director for this. Leigh Whannell is also the director for The Invisible Man that came out previously with what's her name from Mad Men and The Handmaid's Tale. I can't think of the actress's name. This one is going to be starring Christopher Abbott and Julia Garner. You'll know Julia because she was in Ozark. She's also playing the Herald of Galactus, whichever Herald that is going to be still remains to be seen in the Fantastic Four movie. It is set for release January of 2025. So I was not a huge fan of the Leigh Whannell version of The Invisible Man. I think conceptually it works really well. It was the execution that really left a little bit to be desired for me. So hopefully he learned a little bit in the execution and will pull off Wolfman, because this looks like it's going to be a step above The Invisible Man, because I did not get super hyped for the trailer for The Invisible Man, and then when I watched it, I was like, yeah, that's kind of what I was expecting. Maybe not even quite that good. Wolfman, though, this is a step up. I'm super stoked based on this trailer, so go check that out. Next trailer we talked about this movie previously when they announced it at the film festival last week. The Donald Trump movie, the fictionalized version of Donald Trump's early life in business and things, with one of the kids from Succession is playing his mentor, Roy Cohen. I can't remember the actor's name who's playing it, but Sebastian Stan is playing Trump. It looks like it's going to be entertaining. It also looks like they are really taking a lot of liberties with the life of Donald Trump. I'm not saying that Donald Trump is any sort of saint or godsend or like great person at all, but like, this is obviously literary effect. This is obviously them taking artistic license. That's what I was looking for. They're taking artistic license with the story of Donald Trump's life. And it's within their right to do so because it is a fictional movie. But I think the timing, we have the release date for it is October 11th. So the timing for this is a little ridiculous because, like I said when we talked about this last week, there is also a Kamala Harris movie coming out, but it's not a fiction movie, it is a documentary. And while, yes, you can take any information and make it look like it is hard fact in a documentary, it's super easy. There's a number of studies talking about the effect of documentary movies on their viewers, and even if it's presenting people with provably wrong or incorrect information, as long as it's presented in a documentary format as fact, then people just take it as fact. So the fact that they're making a Trump fictional movie and a Kamala Harris documentary that are both coming out at roughly the same time is very, very suspect. But, you know, it is what it is. So October 11th, go check out the trailer. It looks like it's going to be a fun movie. I don't think people should be taking it as gospel as for who the actual person of Donald Trump is. Then, oh, good Lord, Minecraft dropped, the live action Minecraft movie dropped the trailer. We've been talking about this ever since it was made known, especially since Jason Momoa was cast. But Jack Black is Steve. Como? Why is that? Like, oh, this is, I've seen it said in comment sections and in chats and things that this is intended for children. It's not intended for adults. So why are you getting grumpy about it? I'm not getting grumpy about it. I honestly am not really taking umbrage with it. I don't play Minecraft. Minecraft is not for me. I'm probably not going to see this movie until it's on a streaming service that I'm already paying for. So, you know, it is what it is. But it just, the children that play Minecraft grow up eventually. So if you're making garbage with the IP that they obviously care a lot about, like, you're still doing a disservice to your audience. Whether or not they find out that it's a disservice immediately or they have to wait until they're slightly more grown up before they realize that they've been done a disservice to is irrelevant because you're still doing a disservice to your audience. It used to be when a property was made for children, they also kept the adults in mind because the adults still have to go to the movie and sit through it and watch it with their kids unless they're waiting. Like, you're not writing this anticipating it to do well in streaming or in physical release. You're writing this in anticipation that it's going to do well in theaters. So if it's in theaters and it's for children, that means there have to be adults there because that's who takes the kids to the movies. So again, it used to be that you wrote a movie with, at the very least, the adults in consideration, and then you wrote it for the children with some sort of level of appreciation that their parents could have for it. Very specifically, I'm looking at the Animaniacs. The Animaniacs was a cartoon when I was a kid that I remember even as a kid, my dad making a comment in a social situation because he sat down and watched a few episodes with me. He made a comment in a social situation with some of his friends that, like, have you seen this anime? Like, it's definitely a cartoon show. It's definitely for kids, but a lot of the humor, most of the humor, I would say now as an adult, was geared actually towards adults because the adults are going to have to sit through it. And it's not a big secret. They made it known. They were writing these jokes for the adults in the room because it's easy to entertain small children. All it has to be is bright and move fast and make funny noises. But the actual words being said can be appreciated by the adults in the room, and then it just has a more broad appeal, and then you get more people in your theater. So again, making this only for children is selling not only yourself short, but your audience short. So I'm gonna get off my soapbox now, but wow. Minecraft dropped a trailer. Go check it out at your own risk. It's not good. And then we finally got the actual trailer for Megalopolis, not the teaser, not the one that got pulled down because it had a bunch of AI generated false movie reviews from previous Francis Ford Coppola movies, because Francis Ford Coppola movies usually actually get pretty decent, if not very good reviews, even in spite of what that trailer wants you to think. This is the actual movie trailer and goes a long way for intrigue. This even more star-studded cast than I originally anticipated when we saw Adam Driver in the teaser. I mean, this is doing the thing, man. Go check out the trailer for Megalopolis, the new Francis Ford Coppola movie. It's interesting, and I dig it, and yeah, it's a lot of fun. So that's what we got for trailers. We regrettably only have one piece of regular-ass news this week, and I teased it in the intro for the section and the intro for the whole episode, and that's James Earl Jones. 93, the man had a very full life, an incredible career, is a nerd icon, is a film icon, is an icon unto himself, not in any one specific subcategorization that you can put him in, just as a general statement. James Earl Jones was the man, was just amazing. The voice of God, just like nobody will ever be able to fill those shoes in any respect. He had an incredible ability to act. He had really good comedic timing. Go watch Coming to America. Oh my God. He had really good comedic timing. He just was an incredible emotional actor. Go watch Field of Dreams for that one. And then those are only the ones that I'm familiar with. Like, he has a much larger catalog of things. So I'm sad he's gone, because yes, it sucks. But again, 93, he had a good long run. He had an incredible career. He very recently, very controversially, signed off on the AI use of his vocal likeness. So we will not be not hearing his voice going forward. It'll be a little different now that he's actually passed, knowing that is an AI recreating his voice. But just an incredible career to be celebrated, an incredible man to be celebrated. So we're going to take a moment, and I don't even know what clip I'm about to play. I'm going to play a clip from something fantastic. I don't know, maybe I'll try and find him in the studio voicing Vader, just because that's the biggest nerdy thing that he did. But oh man, Sandlot, he was so good in Sandlot, even though he's only on screen for like 3 minutes, like just a presence. Anyway, James Earl Jones, you will be missed, and now we remember your life.
What we needed was something more like me. They said, "What do you like as a father?" I said, "Well, I'm really a dopey dad, you know." And so they began to impose my facial expressions onto Mufasa and a different tone of voice. Yeah, he was authoritative, but he was just a jerk.
So we got to bring it up from that, man. It leaves only our movie suggestion for the week, and I feel like this one you probably should have seen coming. I don't know, maybe from a little bit of the left field, because I'm setting up for the 1995 Crow, which is a great movie and you should go watch it. It's not your suggestion for the week though. This week's suggestion is in theaters currently. Still could be The Crow, but it's not. It's Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice is in theaters currently. It is absolutely a fun watch. We'll talk a little bit more in detail about like the nitpicky things that I have to say about it in this week's episode of That Just Happened, but in spite of whatever I might have to say that is slightly negative about this movie, it's absolutely a fun time. It is going to be worth your time with the kids. It is very colorful language. Again, if you've seen the first movie, you know what to expect language-wise. Very colorful language. Is PG, I think it's actually PG-13, judging by the language used, but that's only because of the language used. A little bit of gore, but nothing crazy. God, it was a hell of a fun time. I really, really dug this movie. Very likely going to see it again in theaters, maybe at the drive-in, I don't know. But that's your suggestion for the week. It's a worthy successor to the original in spite of its flaws. So that's your suggestion for the week. That brings us to the end of the video, nerds. Thank you very much for joining me for the news. Once again, there is a full and probably much more up-to-date and recent episode of the news, the full-length version, if you will, called The Week in Nerddom over on the main channel, linked down in the description, and probably link popping up somewhere around my face right about now. So click on that, go check that out as well, or if you prefer your news in more truncated pieces, then by all means just stick around here and go check out some of the other stuff we offer on this channel. Thank you very much for joining me. We will see you in the next one. Before we go, always remember, nerds, that if it is generally nerdy, it's probably here.